Assalamu alaikum, you're welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut an A-line gown. So I've received lots of messages to upload a tutorial on how to cut an A-line gown, so that is what I'm doing now. So if this is what you like to learn, let's get straight to the video. These are the materials that I'll be needing for this tutorial. I have my 6 yards of Ankara fabric. I have lace, about 1 yard of lace, though I'm not going to exhaust all. Then I have my tape, scissors and chalk. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to fold my fabric. Remember, we are cutting an A-line gown and the length of Ankara fabric always comes in 45 inches. The length is 45 inches and the length I'm using for the A-line gown is obviously more than 45 inches. So I'm going to fold it the other way around, like so, into two, like so. The English mouth will be facing that side. I went offline to fold it properly and this is it. So I cut out two sides. There is one for the front and the other one for the back. I've already cut out my length and I added extra 2 inches. So the one I placed on the floor will serve as the back. You would notice that the English mouth is facing me. That's what we are going to use as our zipper allowance, and the one on top is going to serve as the front. You can see the way I folded it. The back part English mouth is facing me while the front one is facing the other side. This is because of the zipper allowance we are going to add at the back. I'm making use of just 1 inch for the zipper allowance, so I'm measuring it if it's up to 1 inch. So remember, I already cut out the length, which is 56 inches, and I added extra 2 inches, which is 58 inches. So what I'm going to do now is to rule a straight line as a guideline. So that's where all my measurements are going to start from. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to impute the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement is 15 inches. Divide by 2, which is 7.5, plus extra 1 inch, which is 8.5. So I mark it. So from the point I marked, I'll go down by 1 inch. This is for the shoulder slope, and I'll rule a line back to the beginning. You can see that the line is slanted. Then from the shoulder slope, I'm going to impute the armhole measurement. So I'll be making use of 8 inches for the armhole measurements. So I'll make sure the tape is straight and I'll mark it like that. So I'm drawing the line so it can be very visible. Hope you understand what I'm doing. The next measurement I'm going to be taking is the shoulder to waist line. So I'm going to make use of 17 inches for this tutorial. Shoulder to waist line, 17 inches. We have already taken shoulder to chest line, which is also the armhole line, which is the 8 inches I took earlier. So that's what I'm ruling. So this is the waistline. I'll also rule it as well. So I'm not going to take shoulder to E because my client doesn't want the gown to be tight at all. So from the waistline, I'm just going to take the line all the way to the M. The next thing I'll do now is to draw the armhole. So I'll mark out the center of the armhole, which is 4 inches. Then from that 4 inches, I'll go in with about ½ inch. Then I'll use a ruler to rule it like a slanted line. Then I'll use the armhole curve to draw the curve to the chest line, just like the way I did in the video. This is it. So my bust measurement is 42 inches. It's going to be divided by 4, which is going to give me 10.5 inches. Then I'll add extra 1.5 inches allowance. Then whatever I have on the bust, I'm going to minus 1 and impute it on the waist. So since I have 10.5 inches on the bust line, on the waistline I'm going to put 9.5 inches plus extra 1.5 inches. Now I'm going to rule the line with a ruler. This is because my clients want the dress to be free as possible. That is why I'm doing this. Remember, I said earlier there's no hip line. So from the waistline, I'm going to use a ruler and rule a slanted line all the way to the M. This is how it looks like. You can see the shape. This is it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut it out. Kindly give me a thumbs up if you are enjoying this video. So after cutting it out, this is how it looks like. For the neckline, I'm going to make use of 4 inches for the wideness of the neck. The wideness of the neck for the front and the back is going to be the same thing. So for the depth of the back, I'm going to use 2 inches for the depth for the back. Then for the front, I'm going to make use of 5 inches. Then I'll use a curve ruler to join the points together. Then the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut it out. So this is how they are looking like. This is the back. Remember, the back is 2 because of the zipper allowance. Then this is the front. Look at the necklines, look at the armhole. So this is the lace that I'm going to add to it, but before we cut the lace, I'm going to cut out the lining. I have already cut out the lining, so I didn't use full lining. So you can decide to use full lining if you wish to. It's your choice. So this is the front part. So line, I just cut out exactly the way the main fabric is cut out. So this is it. So for the lace fabric, the length is going to be the exact length of the main fabric, which I've already cut out. Then the width, I cut out about 4.5 inches on fold. If I open it, it's going to be 9 inches. So I'm just going to cut it out. So this is how I'm going to place it on the fabric. At the center, I'll make sure I target the center. So this is it. I've gone ahead to sew it on the fabric. So on open, I have about 9 inches on open. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to turn the fabric with lining. So I'll place the lining on the right side of the main fabric like so, just directly. Then I'll sew the neckline and the sides, just the neck and the sides, with about 1/4 of an inch. I've already turned the back one with lining and I've folded the zipper allowance. This is it, the 2 back. So I joined the 2 back already. This is the zipper allowance and this is the front. I already turned it with lining. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out the cycle patterns on the fabric, and I'm going to use it to design the clothes. I have already done that. I did it off camera because it was too much. If I show it, the video is going to be too long. So what I just did was to cut out the cycle patterns, place it on a lining. I turned some with the lining, I turned some with the main fabric. You can see it. So the cycles came in different shapes, so I have different shapes. So I'm just going to place it by the side of the lace that I sewed earlier. So if your fabric doesn't come with patterns like this, I don't think you can make this style, but it depends on how you want it though. So as I'm placing the cycles like so, I'll go ahead to the sewing machine and sew on it one after the other. So after placing them, this is how it looks like. I have not sewn it yet. I'm just showing you how it's going to look like after I'm done sewing. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to join the shoulders of both the front and the back together. So this is the back. So I've already fixed the zipper for the back. So this is the front. So I'll place the right side of both the front and the back together like so. So as the front is facing me like this, I'll just place the back on it. So I'll carry the 2 shoulders like so, place them together. So after placing them together, I'll carry the lining of the back parts and I'll flip it over to the other side. So like make sure you arrange it well. So I want to do it again so you can understand it properly. Carry the lining and just flip it over to the other side like so. After flipping it, I'm going to arrange it properly and I'm going to sew with 1/2 of an inch. After I'm done sewing, this is how it looks like. This is the right side and this is the wrong side. You can see that there's no stitch at all. The stitch is hidden. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other side. After joining the shoulders, we'll keep it aside. Remember, we have not cut the sleeve. So I wanted to be done with the body part before starting the sleeve. So for the sleeve, I'm going to fold my fabric into 2. But in this situation, I folded it into 4 because I want to cut the 2 sleeves together. So I'm going to tell you the amount I folded. So right now, I have 12 inches. So that means I folded 24 inches. I folded 24 inches into 2. And if I fold it into 4, it's going to give me 12 inches. This is because the armhole is 11 inches. So I folded 12 inches. And I also want the opening of the sleeve to be about 11 to 12 inches. That's why I have 12 inches folded. So the length of the sleeve is 22 inches. So I have already cut out the sleeve before I realized that my camera was not recording. So but I'm going to put you through on how I did it. So I'm just looking for the pieces that I cut out so I can match with it. So this is the pieces I cut out. So remember I said the length is 22 inches and I added extra 1.5 inches. So from that edge right there, I came down by 4 inches. You can see 4 inches. This is before I cut it out. I came down by 4 inches. I remember we have 11 inches as the armhole. So I mark half of 11 inches, which is 5.5 inches at the middle. So from the beginning, I just followed the line and drew a curve up to that point and I just cut it out. So from the top as well, I marked 9 inches. You can see 9 inches. And since I have 11 inches as the armhole, right here, I marked 9.5 inches. I removed 1.5 inches. So I formed the curve all the way to the end. So that's just what I did. I hope you understand it. So after that, I cut out the lace fabric that I'm going to add to it. I cut out about 8 inches, and I've already cut out the lining as well. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to place the lace fabric on it before I turn the lining. So I'm going to place the right side on the right side like so. I'll run a loose stitch on it, then later I'm going to place the lining on it and sew, just like the way I'm doing in the video. We just sew it about 1/4 inch all round. After I stitched it, I went ahead to iron it so it can be so smooth, and this is how it looks like. So the next thing we are going to do now is to place the pattern. Remember the patterns we cut earlier and we placed on the body? We are still going to place it on the sleeve like this. So this is how I'm going to place it, and I'll go ahead to the sewing machine and sew just exactly as the shape like so. I'll do the same thing for both sleeves. So after I'm done doing that, this is the main dress itself. You can see how it is looking. I realize I've not even showed you since, and this is the sleeve. This is one of the sleeve, and this is the second one. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead to the sewing machine and sew the sleeve, like fix the sleeve on the armhole. I'm sewing with 1/2 inch because that's the allowance that was added to it. So after I'm done fixing the sleeve, that's one of the sleeves. So this is the second one I'm fixing now. So after I'm done fixing both, this is how it looks like. You can see that it's already coming out beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to join the sides together. We are almost done with this tutorial. So I'm going to turn it. I will turn it to the wrong side like I've done in the video. I have arranged it properly and I have pinned it as well. So to take your accurate measurements for the bust, I'm going to place my tape under the armhole. That's where we are going to take the bust measurements. The bust is 42 inches. Divide by 2 gave me 21 inches. So I'll mark what's left. I have 2 inches left. So I'm going to divide that 2 inches by 2. I'm going to have 1 inch. I'll mark it on one side, and I'll come to the other side and mark 1 inch. So if I place it like that, it's going to give me 21 inches. You can see. So that's just how to take your measurements to be accurate. If you are measuring yours, whatever you have left is what you are going to divide, then you use it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to impute the waist measurement. So since the bust measurement is 21 inches, that is after dividing by 2, the waist is going to be 20 inches. So I'll place my tape from the shoulder and mark. I used 16.5 inches. I wanted to use 17 inches earlier, so I used 16.5 inches. That is from shoulder to waist, and I place my tape and I measure 20 inches. So I have 2 inches left. I divided it by 2. That is, I'll mark 1 inches here and 1 inch there. So if I place my tape to check my measurement, I'm going to be having 20 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to use my ruler to join the points together. So I want you to know that this is not the best way to cut an A-line gown, but this is the method I always use and it has worked for me. I used a longer ruler to complete it. Remember, we are going to start sewing from the sleeve, so I'm just going to draw the line like so, just follow the shape exactly. So I'll repeat the same thing for the other side, and I'll go ahead to the sewing machine and sew following the line that I marked. So after I finish sewing it, this is how it looks like. This is the look of the A-line gown. This is not the final look. I'm still going to embellish it with stones, but it's not going to be shown in the video. So this is how it looks like. You can see how beautiful it is looking. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, drop a comment for me in the comment section. If you are going to replicate this style, I would love to see it, or you used any of my tutorial videos to make an outfit for yourself or your client, I would also love to see them as well. And thank you to my subscribers that have been subscribing, and thank you also to the new subscribers that found my channel worthy. See you in my next tutorial. Masalam. And if you want to see the final look of the outfit after the embellishment, tell me in the comment section. Bye.